All right, speaking of our community, we're going to get back to our on-site spotlight, first with Team London. So I'm going to introduce Eliza and Sarah and let you take it away.
Hi, everyone. I can see our students, Aspen and Trin here, which is very exciting. They're going to be talking soon. Feel welcome to hype them up in the chat. I'm Eliza, our student life manager, and my co-worker slash bestie, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Hutchinson. I'm the academic coordinator. I'm going to pass it off back to my girl, Eliza, to take it away.
Great. I'm going to keep this quite quick so that we can focus on student chats later on. But a few highlights from our time in London and Verto Discovery have been our visiting membership with UCL. Students are always maximizing opportunities to immerse themselves in London life through UCL, whether that be through joining clubs or using student discounts and programs like that. This semester, we've moved housing location from our old apartments in Angel to, I guess, a bit more of a student-focused area. It's surrounded by Birkbeck, UCL, SOAS, so students truly feel like they're coming over from the US, yes. They're living with people from the US, yes, but they're actually surrounded by other Londoners, which makes them feel like it's a little bit more of that local experience that we're looking for. Budgets can be a little bit tight sometimes, so we often do meals out with students to kind of get them to explore new areas and restaurants, which is a great way for us to build social connection. A highlight for Sarah and I is certainly our cohort. Yes, we love our large cohorts that we have in the fall, but also in the spring, it's really nice to build those closer connections with students. I get to do one-on-ones, which I don't necessarily get to do as much in the fall. So that's something that's a standout for me. Along with our day trips and our weekend in Dublin that we had about 2 weeks ago that our students might talk about later on. Thanks, Matteo. As for community values in action, when it comes to responsibility, our weekend in Dublin certainly comes to mind. Students needed to be switched on, organized. Yes, Sarah and I had a level of responsibility for the group, but the onus was truly on them to be organized, make sure that they were on time and punctual and organized. Vulnerability has come through during openness, during one-on-ones. As I mentioned earlier, it's great. It's great for me. I love being involved in the one-on-ones, the two-on-one meetings with students because it's a true opportunity to connect, for them to open up, and Sarah and I can help to guide them through any issues or things that they might be dealing with in that given moment. As for compassion, students are showing patience and giving space to each other socially and emotionally, which is great. In a smaller cohort, it can be difficult for people to find their groups and to find their friends, but everyone has been so welcoming to each other, which has been so great to see. And I guess along those lines, people are holding each other accountable to certain standards and making sure that we're operating cohesively as one unit. I just saw Trin smiling and laughing then because Trin is certainly a student who's holding people to the group needs, which is great. And as for transformation, Sarah and I have certainly seen, I guess, a change and transition over the second semester students. They've got more coping skills, they're independent, they're confident, and they're clearly articulating what they need, what they want, and what their boundaries are, which are very, very important life skills. I'm now going to hand it over to Sarah.
Thanks, Liza. Liza's been killing it this semester. It's been so great to see all of the great programming that she's done. So that's been such a great pleasure to talk a little bit about us academically and how we're doing. It was clear from the start, both to myself, Eliza, as well as to our faculty, that our students are very academically rigorous. If you've had conversations with me, you've probably heard me say that. And a perfect example of that is that we had the highest GPA for midterms, with all students having a 3.0 or above, which is insane. That is the best we could have possibly asked for. And that's really a testament to how hard they work, how much they keep on top of each other. And again, collaborate as such a strong unit. They really keep each other accountable. A quick shout out to our incredible academic director, Di, for doing a fantastic job at organizing and creating cohesion within our courses. An example of this is our Art History 1 course, overlaps in time with our Early Societies and Civilizations, which really allows students to kind of do cross departmental, cross academic learning. So the information that they're learning from one class, they can then apply to another class, which has been so exciting to see and interesting to hear them speak about in conversation. And then time and time again, I've heard from our faculty, most of our faculty in the spring are our repeats, our faculty that have been with us for semesters at this point, and they love the small student cohort. They love getting to know them, and we are a condensed semester this semester. We have 90 days, so we are 2 times a week, which means that they really get to meet them, get to know them a little bit more, and our faculty have really been enjoying that. Next slide, please. London really prides itself on our experiential learning. We try and spend as much time in the city learning as we spend in the classroom. And some examples of that are our Intro to Theatre class, which runs every semester. This semester, they're seeing 7 performances. They've also done 2 backstage theatre tours, including the National Theatre, which is the photo down at the bottom. We got to see them putting on a set for the show that is about to go up about the NHS. We got to go in the back, see the workshop where they make the sets before they bring them on stage, costuming, props. It was incredible. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Intro to Photography, but Intro to Photography has students going and making exposure printing workshops, which is the photo at the top. They're going to be doing a zine making, so like a photo book creating workshop down the line. Next week, they have an Adobe Photoshop workshop. They go to the museums to look at photography, and it's not just about taking pictures or going in the city and seeing it through the city's lens, but also by getting to know the history. How has photography come to be? And our incredible comparative politics professor, Faisal, has a guest lecturer, Judy Ling Wong, who's the UK director for Black Environment Network, and as well as other incredible tours that take the students around the city. So they're really getting a lot of diversity within their experiential learning. Next slide, please. So I did just want to do a quick highlight on our newest course to the London portfolio, which is Intro to Photography. We are so excited to have this class, and it's currently being led by Teresa, who in the lower quadrant of the slideshow, you can see this is actually a self-portrait of her doing her photo shoot within her field of work. So she's a freelance photographer for fashion and music, but also is a faculty at University of West London, really is in tune with the students. I hope that they're going to talk a little bit about this. Our students are going to talk a little bit about her and her work, but her number one priority is to get the students out into the city. So students spend half of their classroom time taking pictures and then half of the classroom time talking about the material that is for that day. And assignments can include find letters in a non-conventional way. So it's not the letter L in the way that letter L looks, but maybe it's the corner of a table and the students had to go out and find letters that spell their name. And these are just small warm-ups to get them used to using their cameras, get them out into the city and to see our local neighborhood. But yeah, it has allowed us to see London through a new lens, pun intended. Another amazing thing that has come out of this is we are redecorating our office. So this incredible photo with Aspen is a photo that she has taken, and now that photo lives behind my desk. This is thanks to Eliza that we've been able to do this. We had a photo competition last semester that now we have framed in our center, and we are going to continue to post photos that the students have taken around the center and kind of do a little thing about the student, where they're from, semester. It's great. Awesome. Next slide, please. And then working off of her colleagues, I did just want to have a little piece by Dr. Gemma Miller, who's our faculty for theater, talking a little bit about her experience this semester in working with the students.
My name's Gemma Miller and I teach Introduction to Theatre here at Verto London. The students this semester honestly have been a complete joy to teach. They're very focused. They seem to have a very clear idea of where they want to go academically. And they're also very engaged in the classroom. We go to a lot of live theatre, and that throws up some quite challenging topics, I suppose, about related to politics, identity, those kind of things, racial and gender themes, sexuality. And the students are very keen to engage with those difficult topics, and we have some really interesting class debates about them. They've been great at responding to feedback on their written and presentation work, and I'm seeing them develop some really good critical skills. So that's been wonderful. Highlights from the semester so far. Well, we've been to see a number of live theatre events together, and it's been a complete joy to experience these shows really through the eyes of the students. They get very excited about the possibilities of live theatre, so that's really wonderful. It's also an opportunity outside of the classroom to get to know them a bit better, which I've really enjoyed. A particular highlight this week has been an assignment they worked on, which was to write a monologue for a character in one of the plays we've seen, typically a character who doesn't get the opportunity to speak very much. And I was honestly really impressed with how imaginative the students were. And some of them showed a real flair for creative writing. And they were all very happy to get up in front of the class and present their monologues, which was wonderful. I've actually seen them developing confidence as well through the last few weeks. So that's really gratifying to see. Yeah, I teach at a number of American study abroad institutions, as well as the University of London. And I think what's really unique about Verto is how invested they are in experiential learning. And I find that the best way to learn personally is to get involved and to try things and to experiment. And the students respond very well to it. So I really enjoy that side of Verto. The other thing I would say about working at Verto is there's a wonderful support network for faculty, but also a good support network for the students as well. So nobody ever falls through the net, which is great. You don't always see that in study abroad institutions. So I really value that as well. Yeah, it's a wonderful place to work. My name's Gemma Miller and I teach Introduction.
Alrighty, we're back, folks. And I'm happy to introduce our special guests today, Trinity and Aspen, who are joining live from London. Maybe if you could introduce yourselves, your name, pronouns, where you're from, how many semesters you've done Verto, and let's get started with your panel. So maybe, Aspen, do you want to start first?
Sure. So my name's Aspen, and I did my last semester in Verto Florence, actually. So shout out to the Verto Florence team as well. I'm from Southern Vermont, and then in the fall next year, I will be going to CU Boulder. And actually, my favorite class is the Early Societies class with Dr. Scott McLean. So very, very fun.
My name is Trinity. This is my first semester with Verto. Last semester, I did a gap semester. I'm from kind of a suburban area, North Texas, close to Dallas. And I chose to come to London mostly because of like the city vibes and because I'd never been to anywhere in Europe. And I thought London was a really good place to start because of how nice and big and diverse it is. And also I really like the humanitarian classes here. And my personal favorite class that I have is art history.
Oh. Yeah. So I guess now
I think there's a slide after this that has pictures.
Yes, it does have pictures if you wanted to go to that slide.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. So these are a few of the other students that we hang out with a lot of the time. That picture up in the corner is Teresa at the recent photo workshop. Really fun. So yeah.
And like Sarah was saying before, it's really, really great to do as much experiential learning as we have. We are probably about like a 3-minute walk from the British Museum. So we really utilize that in our classes like early societies and art history, which does have a lot of overlap in the time periods we're learning. It kind of helps us in both classes with that overlap. And with the British Museum, it helps whenever you're able to see these artifacts hands-on. You're able to like look at them, see all the details, see the size, the texture, and all of this stuff. And it helps you understand what you're learning about more.
Yeah. The placement, I would say, of the study center is so nice. It's really central. There's a lot of different places you can go if during break time to get food and stuff. As Trinity mentioned, British Museum right around the corner, and it's really nice to just have that space to explore. London is a surprisingly green city. It has a lot of different parks you can go to, which have been so nice if you just want to have like a chill day, take a walk around the park, a lot of like beautiful nature. So it's been gorgeous over here, minus the rain sometimes.
And as well as that, going along with the like taking breaks and stuff, outside of our academics, we have a lot of ways we are able to interact with the community. There's a lot to do around London. We're close to the West End, so you want to buy a ticket for theater, it'd be a lot cheaper than buying a ticket to see something on Broadway. There's a lot of good vintage and thrift stores around here. Lots of things to eat, lots of meal deals, and meal deals are great.
Meal deals.
Like on a budget.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff to do around here. All museums are free, or most museums are free, which is really, really nice as well. So there's a lot you can do outside of just academics, but academics does help us. It is very helpful that we have access to so many great things around here, and it really helps our learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to keep piggybacking off of what Trinity says, but because we have so many like academic opportunities, it really allows us to excel. Take my photography class as an example. I'm majoring in photography. She has this really amazing way of teaching that just, no pun intended, but it lets you look at stuff in a different way, and it really helps conceptualize a lot of the techniques that she's teaching us as well. She's really like an amazing teacher to have. All of the faculty here have been incredibly supportive, and they're just intelligent people, I would say.
It's just really amazing to be able to learn from all these great faculty members. Gemma is amazing, our theater teacher, and with theater we've been able to see a lot of West End shows, which is so nice because London is, known for their theater productions, and so being able to be in an introduction to theater class and also being able to go see these professional shows is just so amazing.
Yeah, agreed. It's sorry, I'm like
and then also Eliza and Sarah have been absolutely wonderful as well. They're very good at any issues we have, any academic worries. Sarah is amazing with our academics. She's done a few college strong workshops to help us understand things. Like for one of our essays that we have due in a few weeks, we need to use a Chicago citation, which none of us knew how to do, but she helped walk us through that. Eliza is great at making sure we don't, work ourselves to the bone. She plans lots of events that we go to, and so we're able to have these explore parts of London we wouldn't have otherwise explored without Eliza kind of recommending them to us or taking us out to these places. We went to Brick Lane yesterday and got curry, and Eliza came with us, and it was really amazing.
Been to Brick Lane. We've been to Camden Market, I think in the first week. Camden Market is beautiful. It's so diverse. It's got such a beautiful like art and music like style to it. So it's really nice to be so like immersed into such like an artistic community, I would say. And it kind of helps you get more aware of your surroundings, helps with your street smarts a little bit more. Which is so important, especially if you're going to continue working into these like big cities and stuff. It's always important to be aware of your surroundings. I'm sorry, keep getting lost.
No, it's okay. And then I think also what Eliza and Sarah was saying about students growing over the semester, I think even though we've only been here for like 2 months so far, I think I've definitely picked up a lot of things from London, such as what Aspen was saying, ability to navigate public transport and all this stuff that I will be taking back with me. So it's not just the academics that are absolutely incredible here, but also the experience that you're getting and things that you're picking up by just being in another country. And London is such an amazing city, and it's also very diverse. Anywhere you walk, you can hear somebody speaking a different language.
Oh my God, the food is so good. There's so many ethnic food spots that you can go to, and the public transportation, they Oyster cards are offered in the tuition.
So we have free transportation, which is
pretty much free transportation. For 2 zones, that's a really wide area of space. I haven't even gotten to explore half of what's in it anyways. So it's been so much fun. It's been really nice.
We're just very grateful to be here and very thankful
Yeah.
for the faculty that we have and the experiences we were able to get from the place that we are, the experiential, like hands-on learning. I think that's just so amazing. It's very helpful whenever you're learning about these things to be able to go to museums and see all of this stuff. We've had a lot of walking tours in our comparative politics. That's what we're learning about, like the history and politics of certain areas of London, and that's been amazing.
It immerses you into the history. It gets you more well versed in the culture of, I guess, London, England, and it still kind of allows us to have fun while also learning something. So it's not as mentally taxing as you would if you were just sitting in a classroom staring at a board the whole day. It's been great to kind of just mellow out, get to know our peers because of how small it is. We've really been able to form these really like strong bonds together. So
Oh, well, Trin and Aspen, I'm so glad to hear that you're having an amazing time, both academically and in student life and beyond. I have a couple questions that are coming in from the chat. The first question is, if either of you had made use of UCL, thinking about the student clubs or any of the activities that they offer.
I have personally not, just because I'm wrapped up in my own schoolwork, but they have so many like things to offer. They have a salsa dancing club, which is really cool. And I was debating joining it. I didn't, which I'm really upset about, but
I did join the UCL Vietnamese Society Club. I haven't actually gone to any of the meetings yet, but I've been keeping up with what they're doing, and there's a lot of activities and cool stuff that they do. You can also utilize their library and their gym, so it's not just clubs that you're joining. You can do.
You can also go to a lot of their sports games that they have. I know the men's rugby UCL team, really good team. So it's super interesting to like watch them play a game. So
and it's really nice that you have there's a library that you're able to study in, so you have a place where you're with other students and you can kind of just study and relax in that area.
It's a good environment, I would say.
Awesome. Well, I want to let y'all get back to the rest of your day because I know it's evening time in London. Before we do that, though, as y'all know, we're big on self-authorship here. We want to accompany you as you learn more about yourself, the world around you, your community. So, and I'm sorry, I didn't give you this question beforehand, so you could take a moment to think about it. But if you could describe what you've learned about yourself in 2 or 3 words, what words would you use?
That's a good question. I would have to say that from this semester and from even last semester, I want to say kind of like a resilient flexibility, if you will. I've kind of learned how to put my foot down, sometimes set some boundaries for myself, but I've still been able to grow enough to be flexible, to open up, to be vulnerable, if you will, as one of the like Verto, what is it called? Anyways, one of the Verto qualities, I would say. So it's been great.
And I think along the lines of that, I guess maybe my word would be like self-sustaining, because even though you are with a lot of people who you can trust, who you can lean on, it is like very good to be able to learn how to navigate a big city on your own. It's a really good learning skill that you should be able to have, be able to, know how to get from one place to another, learn how to kind of live, not completely by yourself,
budget,
but budget and sustain yourself.
Yes.
Cool. So I heard resilience, flexibility, maybe some vulnerability, and budget savviness.
Budget savviness.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, if I could describe you two with one word, I'd say amazing. Thank you for joining us today and sharing about your experience. It's been awesome to hear firsthand from students. And on behalf of the Verto community, of course, we hope that you have a really great rest of your semester. Go hard, enjoy, make the best use of London as your classroom and your community space. And we can't wait to follow your adventures and see you Boulder and beyond. Y'all are a part of this community for life now. So we'll see you soon.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us, everybody. I hope you all have a good rest of your day.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thank you, Trin. Thank you, Aspen. And thank you to our on-site staff in London for sharing their on-site spotlight.
Woo! Go
It's
Sarah,
great to learn from y'all. All right. Well, I continue on with our program.